joining us today. The goal of this hangout is to introduce you to MilCents and also introduce you to the experts who helped us build this program. But first, before I introduce you to them, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the program and what you're going to learn over the course of the next 10 weeks. MilCents, as you may know, is a 10-week financial education program that's designed specifically for military and veteran families. We've created a series of activities, and we've used activities that already exist from trusted resources to help you get a real handle on your finances. During the program, you'll learn things like how to read a leave and earnings statement, how to look at your monthly net and to see if you're in the red or in the black, also how to look at your credit score and learn ways to improve it, learn about categorizing your spending. How are you spending your money? Could you adjust that to improve your financial status? Also, how to create a budget. Budgeting can be a scary and cumbersome process, but throughout the program we make it really easy for you to build a budget that will work for you and your family. And also learn how to protect your money. So now that you've had all this great information given to you about how to prioritize your spending and how to create a budget that will work, how can you make sure that you're protecting it and avoiding things like predatory lenders or identity theft and things that can really interrupt your financial well-being? Ultimately, the goal of MilCents is to connect you with other military families who are also hoping to achieve financial well-being, as well as to financial experts. So throughout the program, you will have access to individuals who live, breathe, eat, sleep financial education, and they are especially passionate about their work with military families. So they'll be available on push-up and through events to answer any questions that you might have and also support you along the way. So we're really excited that you took the first step to achieving financial well-being. It's a perfect time of year with the kickoff of military saves, and also we're just excited to get to know you throughout the course of the next 10 weeks. So the main goal of this hangout is to introduce you to the brains behind the operation, the people who made MilCents possible. So we're joined today by 3 of our experts. The 4th, Bud, from FINRA Foundation, couldn't be with us. He's traveling today as part of Military Saves, but we're honored to be joined by Brenda Linnington, we're honored to be joined by Mike Greer, and also Rhonda Ashburn. And they're going to tell you a little bit about themselves, what they do, how they work with military families, and they'll give you some advice as you go through the course of the next 10 weeks. So without further ado, I'm going to toss it over to Brenda. Brenda, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you work with military families. Oh, Brenda, I think you're on mute.
Okay.
There you go. Yep, I can hear you well.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be part of MilCents 2.0. I've been excited since the program first began, and to know we're relaunching and time for Military Saves Week is just absolutely wonderful. So I don't want to take too much time, but I'd like to explain a few things about myself. Like many of you on this Google Hangout, I'm a military or former military spouse of 24 plus years. I married my college sweetheart. I was born into a military family, and I also served in uniform myself, so I'm also an Army veteran. As a mother, raising children within the military community, moving around, I have 2 children, 2 adult children. One serves in uniform in the Army, and the other one serves in a military financial services organization focused and devoted to military family and veterans. So like you, I'm really embedded into the military community. I have recently, or most of my work experience within the past 5 years has been with the Better Business Bureau, where I led a military program devoted to financial education. And then most recently I began advising organizations on military and veteran issues, which is a passion for me. I didn't say it before, but I was a finance officer in the Army, and I remember 33 years ago serving soldiers coming out of the field who had money issues, who had made poor decisions, and that always resonated with me, because had they known to do other things, they wouldn't have found themselves in the situation they were in. So before I leave the introduction piece, I would like to leave you with 3 things, at least things that I think are important as you launch into your MilCents experience. And it is an experience. It's a great experience. The first thing in my mind that you should bring to it is this is a time to develop a healthy relationship with your money. You have healthy relationships with all sorts of things, and one of the ways to do that is to begin to, on a daily basis, look at your money situation. Not all of us go online and open up our accounts and take a look at what's going on. That simple act of looking at your money morning, noontime, after dinner, at night is very, very important to becoming accustomed to that. It also makes it less daunting. So that's the first thing I would suggest. Develop a healthy relationship with your money. Secondly, once you've done that, and it only takes a few days, then start to take a look at what's happening or notice the changes that are going on within your money situation. You know, we would all call that beginning to do a deep dive. You're going to start looking at more of the details. Again, it'll be less daunting because you're familiar and you're eager to look at what's going on. Lastly, and all of us in the military community know this, strong people seek help. Strong people seek help. If you find, as my friend Holly Petraeus from Financial Protection Bureau says, that you have more month than money, if you find that that's the case, strong people seek help. Go out and seek out that help. MilCents will provide the resources or the links to trusted organizations that can help you in the long run. So, not trying to be preachy here, but this is something that I'm excited about. I'm a member of my military community. I love the military, obviously, and I'm excited, again, to be here and to be on this path with you for the next 10 weeks. So thank you, Shannon, and thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brenda. That was perfect. And now over to you, Rhonda. Can you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure. My name is Rhonda Ashburn. I am Senior Director of Financial Education Programs for the National Foundation for Credit Counseling. In my role at the NFCC, I'm responsible for leading an effort called Sharpen Your Financial Focus. We are making Americans financially stable as a result of generous donations from several financial institutions. We've established a 3-step process, and you'll actually get to have a chance to be involved with one of the steps through MilCents. We initially offer a tool called My Money Checkup, which is a self-assessment piece that you can take to find out where you're at, what are the areas that you're doing really well in, where are the caution areas, and where do you need to stop and take action. In addition to that, we have offered financial counseling or financial reviews for military service members and their families, as well as other Americans across the country. We've partnered with Wells Fargo to offer hands-on banking for military. It's 10 different modules ranging from budgeting to retirement. And then an additional step in the process is to receive automated reminders. Just this year, we're offering text and email reminders. So if you'd like to connect back to your financial counseling session and have specific goal reminders or payment reminders, that's available. Let me tell you just a little bit about the NFCC. Brenda mentioned the importance of going to a trusted source, and we've been around for over 60 years. We have 74 member agencies all across the country. There's about 600 offices with 1,600 certified counselors, and the agencies are all accredited. It's very important that you have access to a safe place to go. Unfortunately, there are bad actors out there, and when you're desperate and having financial challenges, it can be overwhelming, and you might be tempted to go to a place that's not going to get you where you need to be. So through efforts like Sharpen Your Financial Focus and other programs that you'll get to hear more about throughout your MilCents experience, you can find help, and there are options out there to make it better. Just one website you might want to check out, it's NFC Debt Relief /military. That gives you exposure to our NFCC member agencies across the country and also to our Sharpen Your Financial Focus effort. We're very excited to be a part of this. We appreciate the Military Family Advisory Network for inviting us. I think it's exciting because it's unique. It's a different platform. Being held on this type of venue is very creative, and it'll give you a chance to share with us how you feel about it and how you benefit from it. So that's just a little bit about the NFCC and my role there and why we're glad to be a part, and I'll turn it back to Shannon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rhonda. And actually, everyone will be completing My Money Checkup next week. So that was one of the programs that Rhonda mentioned earlier on in her remarks. So thank you so much, Rhonda. Really appreciate it. And now, last but certainly not least, Mike.
Hello, everyone. And I don't see my picture on the picture. Anyway.
We can hear you. You look good.
Okay. All right. Hey, this is Mike Greer, and like Brenda and Rhonda, it's a pleasure to be back with MilCents 2.0. I told them put me last because I might have some things that might be fun. And let's refer to and you can tune out anytime. Hopefully you stay to the end. I'm going to do this in 5 minutes. This is 5 minutes of financial readiness covering 50 years. And like Brenda, I'm a military veteran. So, you know, there's the TV show, it's the Big Bang Theory, and Sheldon has his fun with flags. Well, we're going to have fun with hats. So it all has to start somewhere. So anyway, let's go back almost 50 years ago. This is the St. Louis Cardinals hat, because at that time I was drafted by, and I'll show you the certificate here, that's the name, Pee-wee Reese, that's the actual autograph. He's a Hall of Fame baseball player and manager. So I was drafted to play for the St. Louis Cardinals farm team. It was Little League, it was T-ball, but at least I got my start. I didn't negotiate a good contract then because I wasn't financial savvy. In fact, my folks had to pay $10 to get me to play. So anyway, that was my first start in learning how financial readiness is important in your life. Next, we learned how to cut grass, and deliver papers, save money, and got a little checkbook savings account as little kids. Time goes on, and it was time to go to college, and lo and behold, like Brenda, I was lucky enough to go to West Point. Hey, remember this? And it barely stays on my head today. But anyway, West Point, great experience, 4 years of college education, and it's the military after that. So anyway, while I was there, right, the last year, they gave us some information about financial readiness. This, if you can read it, says topics in personal financial readiness, which was important for us back then, and I read it. I found an old Foot Locker yesterday and found these things that I still have. This is active duty pay and allowances, which is much the same as today. It explains LESs. So this is stuff that was 40 years ago, and it really hasn't changed. And the last one was about life insurance, buying a car. It was topics in personal finance. So my personal finance story was, as a cadet, you got to take out a car loan. So for $6,000, I got my car loan, 3.5%, and now I was getting savvy about the money. So at the time, 1979, interest rates were high, so I got a farm credit note for $10,000 because I already saved $4,000 cutting grass and stuff as a little kid. 14.5% interest. There's a little spread there, about 11%. Brenda's saying, yeah, oh yeah, there was money back then. So I learned to basically hold off on the impulse of buying a new car, and eventually I got an older car, spent a couple $1,000s, and I was making money. There is something here that I really think is important that we got as young second lieutenants. I can't remember if this was at the basic course or as we left West Point, but here they had all these topics they wanted us to get knowledgeable about. And this one was about food. It says the main thing to remember is eating out is expensive. That hasn't changed in 40 years. Whether in a BOQ or an apartment, you are paying for a stove and a refrigerator as part of your housing costs. With a little effort and planning, you can stock up at the commissary and maintain a good selection for a fraction of what it would cost you to eat out regularly. The commissary is hard to beat in the long run. You can get better prices on individual items at times, but in the long run, the commissary saves a lot of running around for bargains unless that is your thing. So, that holds true. So it's, as they say, unless there's technology, there's really nothing new in the world, and that holds true today, 40 years later. So anyway, I joined the Army, went to the 82nd Airborne Division. That's a little patch right there, 82nd. First 325. And then I went to the Sinai, so I'm a bachelor then. I went to the Sinai in the desert for 7 months. Those who had family experiences going overseas where you get lots of extra money. You have to be careful about that extra money and what you do with it. Don't just spend it all, especially if you have a family. So save and invest when you get those windfalls of things over time. So did the 82nd, then came to Washington, D.C., the Army's Honor Guard. Helped fight and win, as we say, the Cold War. This is my version of a Russian Soviet hat. And so since we won, we got some of the spoils of victory, And this, if you can see it, is a Soviet Army belt buckle. It's pretty cool. I'm glad we won because I think it's a pretty cool belt buckle. Got that. Didn't get it from a Russian, but I got it somewhere. So, you know, now it's 1990, 1992. The Army's reducing. I've become a peace dividend. Time to launch, as some of you are doing, into the transition phase of your military career. What do you do next? How do you plan for all those differences and things that you've got as a benefit or an opportunity? The commissary, the PX, and those things that were at reduced prices. So I learned all that in a pretty short period of time. I learned again to continue to save money, invest where I could, so that eventually I could do fun things like go back to Russia, because I never actually had to go there and do anything. So go to Russia, climb mountains. Did that because I saved money so I could make that trip. We'll go faster now. Let's see. Let's end with this. So anyway, like Brenda, I worked with BBB for about a year and a half. It was a great experience. And as those who saw MilCents 1.0, there are lots of things they can do that that will support you. And that's just some graphics of some things that they have. BBB military line. Go to it. It's a great thing. About 10 years ago, I helped the Army start Army One Source. There's their brochure. They're a great asset for not just financial readiness information, but lots of things. And finally, I got my little button here that says I'm half Irish on my mother's side. On my dad's side, I'm German, and I think it's Scottish. I hope that is Scottish. There's my Scottish cap. Scots are known for being kind of tight with their money. And so I learned that part in my lesson in life is hold on to your money. So if you're lucky, then you can do things like go on a cruise. Or one day, go take a trip. I haven't done it yet, but I got my hat ready to go to the Outback and visit Australia and New Zealand. So that's my story. I hope you guys had fun. I did. And I hope you guys enjoyed the next 10 weeks of learning all about financial readiness, that financial readiness can be fun. And finally, for those in this persuasion, go Army, beat Navy. Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. And I think that's a perfect example of how MilCents is fun, and tackling your finances can be fun. And that was so perfectly demonstrated by Mike. So thank you so much. That was awesome. A few last things. Please, please, please encourage your friends to participate in MilCents. There's no program capacity limits, so please encourage people that you know who you think might benefit from MilCents to join us. You can always go backwards, so if you need a refresher on anything that we've learned, please feel free to do that. And we're really excited to get a handle of on our finances together over the course of the next 10 weeks, and make sure that you're following MFAN, Military Family Advisory Network, on social media. So on Facebook and Twitter, we'll give you important updates there. And tomorrow, you'll be introduced to PushUp, which is our social platform that's built into MilCents. That is where you can go to talk to other military families who are participating in the program and also ask questions. So if you have a question, we will make sure that one of the experts who you met today, or Bud, who couldn't be with us, will answer that question for you, and we'll get back to you quickly. So the program really does give you that access to experts in a timely manner, which you might not get other places. So thank you all so much. Hope you enjoyed this first Google Hangout, and thank you so much to our fantastic panelists. You were wonderful as always, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Have a great day, everyone.